So that's the cheat code. The cheat code for the next couple of weeks. No singing, you hum. You produce sound from deep within. And when you hum, you intentionally make a point of feeling the vibration in your belly. You want to activate your diaphragm, you want to activate the vagus nerve. And then, of course, definitely, intentionally just take the best medicine, laughter. And you don't have to wait for a comedian to come. Sometimes when comedians come, we laugh, we don't laugh consistently, that belly laugh. Sometimes it's just quick chuckles and that's it. Here, you go in all the way. I don't know what many of you are thinking, but that's one thing that I've given myself permission to release. I just know that if you align yourself with this kind of rhythm, it will absolutely. I know some of you maybe would have been on back on camera, but you're still recovering. So I wish you quick recovery. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me share this. Let me share this, and we cover a quick piece that I think is extremely important. So let's do 2 minutes of stillness. Get ready. Take your slow, deep breaths. We'll do 2 minutes of stillness. Position yourself. I don't want you leaning forward or leaning backward. I want your head to be straight and relaxed. Put your hands where they will not move. Your feet should be planted on the ground or on a solid surface. They should not be crossed. Your hands should not be crossed. Okay? So get ready for 2 minutes. Make sure you've taken 2, 3 slow, long breaths, and then you will carry that rhythm for the next 2 minutes. You're not controlling your thoughts. You are not controlling anything. You are just stepping back into perspective that is not, you have nothing to do. You're just being here in this moment. At the count of 3, 2, 1, let's go still. This is an affirmation statement you're making, that it doesn't matter what is going on, it doesn't matter what is coming, I am here. I don't have to control for anything. I don't have to be prepared in any particular way except what's reasonable. And even if things show up for which I'm not prepared, I will be present and I will deal with them to the best of my ability. I will not surrender to this day, whatever it brings, because I will outlive this day. If not physically, spiritually, I will outlive this day. No conflict that comes to me today is stronger than me. I am committed to train myself to be present, to realize that I can choose my response in that moment, regardless of what comes. Can you relax a bit more than that? Slow down your breaths, make them longer and deeper. Feel your shoulders loosening and your back becomes relaxed, spreading up to the back of your neck, all the way to the top of your head, to your face, the front of your neck, your chest, your belly. Take in a really long, deep breath, as deep as you can. Feel your lungs fully all the way, a bit more, and then you will hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Tighten your belly. Tighten your shoulders. Tighten your neck. Tighten your legs. Make fists. And tighten the whole upper extremities. Then I want you to increase the intensity. Just be really tight for 3, 2, 1. Release. Release. Shake yourself up. Shake yourself up. Shake yourself up. In the intentionality declaration, you will always see, you're going to be seeing those 3 words that I told you to highlight. The first word is decide. Decide comes from a Latin word for desire, which means cut off, which here we are using it to eliminate all other options by selecting one path forward. And I really love this definition. Decision is the knife that cuts away alternatives. Decision cuts away alternatives. So that every time you find yourself thinking that you are determining, you're concluding, you're settling, you're electing, you're judging, no, you need to decide. You have to step above the mediocre synonyms. And I don't want you to write so much. I'll send you these 3 slides. I'll send these 3 slides. You could take screenshots because I don't want you to waste time writing. I want you to actually receive it. I want you to receive it. That's more important than you spending time writing. The goal is to step above deciding. The mistake we make is that sometimes we try to commit before we decide. Sometimes we try to commit before we cut out alternatives, such that you commit here, but you're still distracted by alternatives because your commitment was not preceded by a decision. Commitment is what you do after you decide. Commitment is how you assign your time, energy, and attention. T-E-A. That's how you assign your time, energy, and attention. Committing means there is no going back. Once you commit, you can no longer be innocent of the commitment. If you commit to marriage, even if you leave the marriage, you will be a divorcee. You will never be innocent of that marriage. That's the power of commitment. After you commit, then you resolve. Resolve is functional. Resilience is attitudinal. Resolve is how you function. Resilience is the attitude. It's the orientation you have. That's why I really do not like when people say New Year resolutions. No, those are New Year interests, New Year preferences, New Year wishes, New Year hopes. They are not New Year resolutions because a resolution needs to be followed, to be preceded by a decision. When you sit in a meeting, you decide what the vision is going to be for the next 1 year, right? And then you commit $1 million to what you've decided. And then you sign the meeting, the minutes of the meeting with a resolution. Let us now pass the resolution. That's the power of resolve. When something is resolved, it is done. Resolve is the refusal to renegotiate your commitment under pressure because pressure will come. I sent out yesterday a quote which I knew will get very minimal response. Did you quit because the mission was wrong or because the middle was uncomfortable? People don't quit because the mission is wrong. They quit because of the middle. Pressure comes to show us that we are doing something important, but we take pressure to mean that we don't have a chance of succeeding, so we quit because of the pressure. Resistance shows up to show us that we are building muscle, but resistance convinces us that we don't have what it takes to build muscle, so we give up. Did you quit the resolutions you had in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. I will continue counting 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. Did you quit the ones you quit because the mission was wrong or because the middle was uncomfortable? You quit because you started before you had eliminated other options. You did not use decision as a knife to cut away alternatives. So you continued dating the alternatives while trying to marry your decision. So you were still in the market. You are still in the market. You had a ring on and you are engaged, but you're also in the market. You're also in the dating pool. You did not use the knife to cut out the alternatives. And because you did not cut out, you became committed to several possibilities. Right? It's like having 4 or 5 different business ideas, and then you have school, you have gym, you have 3 community groups. So you are investing energy, but you're not investing in places that it's going to give you return because you're not investing it long enough. There's something I've been thinking about. I think the most expensive thing in your life and in my life is what I call poor action. Poor action. And poor action can take many forms. Poor action can be delayed action. You know you need to do this, but you really delay doing it, so that is poor action. Number 2 is inadequate action. You want to build muscle, you go to the gym once every month. You are a member of the gym, and your goal is real, you want to build muscle, but you're only showing up once a month. You are not throwing volume and repetition. You don't have the reps to get the result you're trying to get. Can you imagine if your kid went to school just once every 3 weeks? Maybe by the time they are 27, they'll be graduating from class 7. That's the cost of inadequate action. Poor action is the most expensive thing. Delayed action, waiting too long, too little action, in other words, inadequate action, and inadequacy in terms of even when you show up, you instead of doing 30 minutes, you do 15 minutes and you are out. And then, of course, infrequent action. Infrequent action is a question of discipline. The most expensive thing in our life is poor action. Commit, then resolve. But you can only commit something that you've decided, which means you cut out alternatives. Say that statement 3 times. I don't want you to verbalize it. I want you to express it 3 times. Intentionality gives me the power to embody the identity God designed for me. Two minutes for you. I know we are at 28. 2 minutes starting right now. How did yesterday go? 2 minutes already started, so please go ahead. How did yesterday go? Remember to always include an element of how you felt. Your energy level, the quality of your attention. And then, of course, the key activities. What is the strongest emotion you experienced yesterday? You have 50 seconds to go. Intentionality gives you the power to embody the identity God designed for you. Intentionality gives you, it gives you the power. It gives you the power to embody, the power to embody the identity. The power to embody the identity God. The power to embody the identity God designed. If you could live yesterday again, how would you live differently? If you could live yesterday again, how would you live differently? You have 1 minute. You will finish this at the end of the session. If you could live yesterday again, what if we could rewind yesterday so that you live it in such a way that there is no regret at the end of the day? What would you do differently? How would you live differently? How would you show up? How would you speak to yourself? Think of yourself. Perceive yourself. Respond to yourself. What proportion of the day would you spend criticizing yourself? You will complete this later. 30 seconds for you. 30 seconds for you to close your eyes. Some beautiful thoughts have come up in terms of what you could do for yesterday, but yesterday is not coming back. What if we could do that today? To draw the line and use that today. Close your eyes for the next 30 seconds and see yourself today. It's at the end of the day, and it's one of the most beautiful days. It is 7 p.m. How are you feeling? How did you leave? How did you show up? Did you feel frustrated in traffic jam, which is going to happen anyway, or did you find a way to be still? Did something frustrating happen and then you just laughed even if there was no reason to laugh? Did you intentionally create room to respond the way you want instead of simply reacting? Pick your identity. Open your eyes, pick your identity. Pick your identity. You will see that it's aligned with decide, commit, resolve. You will be drawn to one of them. Pick one. You can't be wrong here. You have 100% chance of succeeding because you only need to pick one. And if you pick one, you've succeeded. Declaration of intention is an actual thing in the United States where you renounce all allegiance Renounce all allegiance. So I want to renounce all allegiance to past regrets, past mistakes, past doubts, past negative perception, past beliefs. I want to renounce all that allegiance. So it's time for me to renounce that allegiance by declaring, I used to feel powerless. I used to allow external forces and limiting beliefs to hold me back. Enough is enough. From this moment, I am seizing my power. Today, I have decided to direct my intentions. I am committed to master my focus. I have resolved to take command of my actions. Today, I'm shading outdated beliefs, mindsets, and perceptions. I'm determined to shape my reality with purpose. I'm eager to unlock my true potential. I am willing to move to the next level. Sorry, it stopped sharing external display, or my external display disconnected. Sorry, that's why. I hope you had already been able to finish the declaration, because the next part we move to is for you to do your daily reset, and you will continue doing this the rest of the morning and work on what your day will look like. And here is the daily reset, same 5 questions. These ones I give you permission to write them down in case sometimes we end the sharing sooner. Gladys, please show me thumbs up if you can see the daily reset 5 questions. Fantastic, fantastic. Do your daily reset. Start doing your daily reset. In the meantime, I would like to hear from a couple of people. I am going to just get a few people here. Sally, are you able to speak? Let me see. Anne Wanjiko, Lydia, Paula, welcome back. I didn't see you yesterday. Who else is there? Right, any of the people that I have mentioned, and Frida, any of the people I've mentioned? Florence, yeah, those are the ones I've mentioned. Any of you, just go ahead. At the count of 3, if I don't hear any of you, we will close that section and close off the meeting. 3, 2.
Okay, I'll share.
Sally. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Today, my takeaway has been how the different actions can be an expensive cost towards our lives. But I think I need to go through the deciding, committing, and resolving part, because I feel like sometimes we all struggle with decision making. So having the steps to follow and to know that I'm supposed to move from step A to B to C, and that I can't really go in between first to the last, has been very eye-opening for me. That's been my greatest takeaway today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Did you laugh? How did it feel?
I feel like I was laughing because you are laughing.
Uh-huh.
So it felt nice. It feels good to laugh randomly, but it was also weird. It was,
It's weird. Absolutely.
it's,
Absolutely. Why did I
yeah.
ask you to be alone? So don't trust
Yeah,
me around you. If I decide to laugh, even if there are 4, 5, 6 people, I don't care. So it's, yeah. So thank you, Sally. Thank you for sharing that.
okay.
Who is next? Who is next? This is from the people I mentioned. This is open. At the count of 3, I will move the session on.
It's Florence.
Oh, Florence, go ahead.
Yeah, today's session has hit differently, and especially when you talked about decision being the knife that cuts away all other alternatives. And I've been drifting because I've not been cutting all the other alternatives. I decide, but I still have a plan B, what if? But this has resonated with me differently. If I make a decision, I need to cut off all the other alternatives and it becomes a do or die. And then when we have been making the declaration, today it has hit differently. And I think it's because yesterday I struggled with focus. And when I was making the declaration about being committed to remain focused, I was like, but I read this declaration yesterday. How comes then I kept being distracted? And did I really purpose when I was making that declaration? Those are the things that have gone into my mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Florence. So the time to reevaluate whether it's time to abandon a project is not when difficulties show up, but when you have implemented what you decided, committed, and resolved. If you resolved, here is a resolution that I wanted to suggest to you. This is a resolution, okay? Out of the 90 days of the first 3 months of the year, I have done exercise 75 of them. Not 100% of the days, not 90 days, 75 of them. That is the resolution. You will not reevaluate until you've done 75. If you start reevaluating, that is poor action. So that is the resolution. The resolution establishes when is the next meeting going to meet? When is the committee going to come back? The committee will come back here in 6 months. At 6 months, you can look at it, and sometimes it's reasonable to go a different direction. But you don't go a different direction because of difficulty. You go a different direction because you have implemented the resolution. You decide, you commit, you resolve, which means it is done. And we are not going to talk until it is done. I send you to go buy me a bottle of water. It's resolved. We will review when you are back how much it cost, how much traffic jam there was. The resolution establishes the duration of action, the quantity of action. That is the connection between resolution and action, and the cost of poor action, because poor action dilutes all resolution. So I really appreciate, Florence, you shared what you shared, because I don't think I made that connection very clear. That poor action is the thief. There is procrastination, but procrastination is just an expression of poor action. Procrastination is delayed action. But sometimes procrastination actually is as bad as showing up to a place where you could come and sit down and read for 2 hours, and you read for 20 minutes, and then you scroll social media for 1 hour. You showed up, but you showed up with poor action. So it's you're not any different. Jim Rohn used to say that if you can do and you don't, there is no difference between you and someone who can't. So if you could read and you don't read, there's no difference between you and someone who can't read. If you could run but you don't run, there's no difference. If you could wake up early but you don't wake up early, there's no difference between you and someone who can't. We have gone over, but I know why, and I tried to contain this session narrowly, but still this is one which I will try and convert. Everybody, make sure you have your questions written so that I end the meeting and see whether I'm able to convert this and upload it before I sleep so that people can have access to it. There is something in here that I hope I can get to a point where I can package it and express it the way I feel it and the way the kind of impact it has had in my life. 2014, I will tell you, 2014, I made a decision when literally I had less than 70,000 K in my account, like literally nothing. And I was making a decision that was going to cost me almost 1.8 million for me to get through the whole process. But that's because I decided, I committed, and then I resolved. And there was not going to be any reassessment until I had done the 3 years that I committed to. By the end of the 3 years, the pathways was so set that I was not going backwards. There's just something so profound and powerful here. I want you to reflect on what you've carried. Actually, this morning, so write 500 words of what your day would look like. But I want you to also write up to 500 words. Just write what are the things you learned. Write down Alcara. Okay, awareness, learning, change, action, resilience, reflection, and accountability. Write it down. And then use Alcara to reflect on what did you carry from this meeting in a way that you are looking for the practical gems that would influence you. So Alcara, what have you become aware of as a result of this meeting? Okay. What can you learn from that? What is the learning? What is the implication? What would you need to change? In other words, what beliefs, what perception, what attitudes, what do you need to change? Okay. Then what action do you need to take? The level of action is the level of decide. So all these other three, they prepare you to decide. And after you start taking action, then the commitment and resilience activate from the point of that resilience, which comes immediately after. Reflection feeds back to learning, feeds back to awareness. Accountability is how you hold yourself until the resolution is complete. Today has been a lot. Think about it. I am going to end the meeting once we are done. I will leave this on maybe for 5 minutes, then I will end the meeting so that I can convert this session and share it. Gladys, over to you.
Wow. Thank you. Good evening, Doc. Let's applaud Daktari for what he has done. Remember to decide to write your resolve and to commit. See you all tomorrow.